Now coming to the next topic, that is late antiquity. Now what was late antiquity? You can see here. Late antiquity is the term used to describe the final and fascinating period in the evolution and breakup of the Roman Empire and refers from the 4th to 7th century. We have discussed about the 3rd century crisis where 25 emperors were replaced in 47 years. So that was a period of crisis. Later on, from 4th century onward to 7th century till the decline of the Roman Empire was the period and this was the period described as the final and fascinating period in the history of the Roman Empire, and the people also became very prosperous during this age, and this was the final period of Roman Empire. Thereafter Roman Empire started to be declined after the 7th century onward. The period saw a considerable change in the cultural and economic and administrative level. Means a lot of changes were made in administration, economies as well as in the cultural level. And the changes were brought by different emperors. First of all, Emperor Diocletian in the administration. So he brought some administrative changes. Like the Emperor Diocletian abandoned territories with little strategic and economic importance. Means Roman Empire used to be quite expanded at that time, but there were certain areas from where income was not generated. So those territories were abandoned by Diocletian because it was very difficult to maintain those territories, and they were costing a lot and there was less income from these territories, so that was left by the Emperor Diocletian. And he also fortified the frontiers, and he also recognized provincial boundaries and separated civilian and military affairs. Earlier, those people who were in the civilian affair were also in the military affair, and as a result they became quite powerful, and civilian and military matters were joined together, and military officials started interfering in the civilian matters, and these military officer or military elites started posing a challenge to the emperor. So he separated the civilian and military affairs. He granted greater autonomy to the military commander who became powerful. Means he started supporting the military commander also, and in this way he undermined the power of the senatorial class, and senatorial class became weaker than the military elites. And Constantine consolidated some of these changes and added others his own changes, and in this way a lot of changes were made by the king Diocletian as well as the Constantine. Now what changes were made by King Constantine we will discuss in the next slide. Now it is about the chief innovation of King Constantine. Chief innovation of King Constantine. His chief innovations were in the monetary sphere, where he introduced a new denomination of the currency, and he introduced a new coin that is called solidus, and it was a coin of 4.5 gram of the pure gold. So this was the chief innovation by the King Constantine. He did in the economic sphere. He introduced a new gold coin that is called solidus. He founded a second capital at Constantinople. This was also a major decision taken by King Constantine. He shifted his capital to Constantinople. Earlier it was known as the Byzantium, and later on the empire was also named after it, that is Byzantine Empire. And Constantinople is presently lying in the Turkey, and it is known by the name of Istanbul. He decided to make Christianity as an official religion of the Roman Empire. Earlier, Roman Empire was having a polytheistic nature of the society, but the Christianity was made the official religion only by the King Constantine. As a result, Christianity started spreading out in the Roman Empire after the reign of King Constantine. Now, what kind of economic development took place after these reformation? Monetary stability and an expanding population stimulated the economic growth. Means after the innovation in the monetary sphere, and population was also expanding in the Roman Empire. So there was expanding economic growth in the Roman Empire in the late period. As a result, the people became quite affluent in this period. Considerable investment in rural establishment, that I told you that some of the military elites and military commanders, they were drawing their income in the gold. The businessman was also drawing their income in the gold. As a result, they started investing their money in purchasing the estates, especially in the rural areas. They also set up some oil presses where olive oil was extracted, glass factories, and newer technologies were introduced by these people. As a result, technological development also took place after the economic development. And there was also a revival of the long distance trade. Mainly this was trade which was done with the eastern country like India, and strong urban prosperity that was marked by new form of architecture and exaggerated sense of luxury. Since income was generated from these trading activities and agriculture, as a result, the people became very rich. So they started living a luxurious life, and they invested their money in new form of architecture, and they also started enjoying a lot of other luxuries. So urban development also took place in this period because of the economic development. In Egypt, which was a part of Roman Empire, hundreds of papyri survive from these later centuries. Papyri was a form of writing material which was obtained from a tree which used to grow on the bank of river Nile, and in these documents we came to know about the affluent society of that time, where money was extensively used by the people. There was a lot of circulation of currency, and how the rural state used to generate vast income in the gold to the Roman Empire. Large part of Near Eastern countryside more developed. Eastern countryside means the part of the Roman Empire which used to lie in the eastern side of the Mediterranean Sea, especially in Turkey, Syria, Palestine and Israel. They were also becoming the densely populated in the 6th century, and they also used to generate income to the Roman Empire, and they were that much populated at that time which could not be populated in the 12th century. After 600 years, that was not densely populated area as it used to be in the 6th century. So that tells us about the importance of trade to the Roman Empire and economic development of the Roman Empire. Now what changes were taking place in the religious sphere, that we will discuss in this slide. The traditional religious culture of the classical world, both Greek and Roman, had been polytheist. Means they used to worship a number of gods and goddesses. So that was a kind of polytheistic society as it is found in Hinduism. Numerous Greek and Eastern deities used to be worshipped at that time. We know about the Greek gods like Jupiter, Minerva, Apollo. These used to be the Greek gods. Like Apollo is the sun god. Mars, which was a god of battle and army, and we know him by the name of Mangal Grah. So these gods used to be worshipped in the temples, shrines and sanctuaries. So there used to be temples like it is found in the Hindu society. Sanctuaries used to be there where these gods and goddesses idol used to be placed, and they were worshipped like the Hindus. The other great religious tradition in the empire was Judaism. Judaism, which was the religion in the eastern side of the Roman Empire, and it is still an official religion of Israel. But Judaism was not a monolith. It was also a polytheistic at that time, but now it is a monolith religion. It is monotheistic religion, but at that time it was also polytheistic religion. So changes also took place later on in Judaism to come to the present form. Polytheism did not disappear overnight. So they used to worship a number of gods and goddesses, and after coming of the Christianity, polytheism started disappearing, but this did not disappearing at that fast rate. Rather, it disappeared after a lot of effort which were made by the Christian bishop as well as the ruler, and forcefully people were converted to the Christianity. So it took a lot of time to become the Christianization of the Roman Empire, and they had to wage a number of battles to change the religion of the people. The powerful bishop to reign in their follower and enforce a more rigid set of belief and practices. So the bishops also started setting up rules for their religion so that they can clearly demark their society from the rest of the people, and the people were supposed to follow these rules which were framed by the bishop. So we can say that in the later part of the Roman Empire, church also became stronger and it started becoming stronger day by day, and in the mid century of the European history, the church became very, very powerful, and that period was the Dark Age that we will discuss in the other chapters.